we discuss
That might not have been a burp.
any motions out of executive session?
3.
Is it? Yes. So I make a motion to authorize the solicitor to file a complaint to Labor and Industry. Do we make it all in one?
No, just do them one at a time.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
I think you need to say what it's about.
Regarding the arbitration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
regarding the arbitrator.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions?
Yeah.
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
I vote no.
Ed,
Yeah. All right,
Not done.
yeah, good.
Okay. I make a motion to give authorization to the solicitor to move forward on an appeal,
To come and please,
to common pleas
from the arbitration.
from the arbitrator.
Okay. Would you repeat that?
Motion to authorize the solicitor to file an appeal to common pleas from the arbitration.
Well, actually, you know, more, it would be to vacate, rather than appeal.
Okay.
All right, read it back again.
To
So everybody knows what we're voting.
to vacate, give authorization to vacate.
I would move to the common pleas to have them vacate the arbitration.
The arbitration. Got a motion?
You make that motion?
I did.
Okay, I second it.
Got a motion and a second. How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
No.
Doug,
No.
Mike, Ed,
Fred?
whatever, you're answering.
It's like,
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I authorize, or I make a motion to authorize Ed to meet with the road crew to form a committee.
No, he's already meeting with Cord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry,
We
yeah,
want to authorize a committee to meet with the road crew to discuss grievances,
yeah.
to
to
discuss.
be determined at the meeting tomorrow. The committee to be determined.
Yeah, for the, yeah.
Okay.
The union will get to choose the committee.
Yes.
Okay, so say that again for Sharon, if you say it a little slower.
You want to authorize the committee to be chosen, committee of supervisors, to be chosen by the union at the meeting with Ed tomorrow, to meet with the road crew to discuss grievance issues.
All right.
You got it?
Got the motion? Who, you made the motion?
I made the motion. Since I wrote them.
I'll second it.
How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed.
No. Is that it? Out of executive session?
I have a motion to make. I would pass it on this, either Sharon or Tammy would make sufficient copies of this.
You're motioning to have them in class?
No. She's taking my motion.
Oh. Would it be all right if we moved on with
Yep.
public comments?
Sure.
While we're waiting?
Sure.
I have a question. What do I need to do to have the township stop taking out LST tax on me because I get it taken out year-round at the school.
Get it done both places? Well, that shouldn't be.
Yep.
Complain to your congressman.
Hey, I know.
I don't know.
Well, if you've already paid it, probably what you've already paid, if you contact the Keystone, should be able to claim.
Well, I could, but I don't have to do that every year, so.
No,
they
no,
just-
what I'm saying is what you've already paid.
Right, but moving forward, can they not take that out because I can prove that I'm getting it year-round from the school taken out?
Sharon says yes.
And you don't want to be taxed twice.
You just take care of
There's
it.
already enough of that.
Believe me, I know.
It's not a problem.
No problem.
Done. Look at that.
All right, well, this is the second time I brought it up, so.
Okay. Pause.
And
And
6, is that what you needed?
We passed. What I have is a list of motions. I put them all in a resolution format. As some of you may know, the functioning of some of our departments has not been up to par. This is a resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Donegal Township, Washington County, Pennsylvania, establishing rules and regulations regarding certain actions of employees and township supervisors. Whereas, in accordance with the Pennsylvania Second-Class Township Code, Donegal Township Board of Supervisors recognizes that the general governance of the township lies with the Board of Supervisors as duly elected or appointed. Whereas, it is acknowledged that the Donegal Township Board of Supervisors exercises authority through affirmative action of the board at legally advertised meetings open to the public. Therefore, let it be directed and affirmed by the Donegal Township Board of Supervisors as follows. Number 1, day-to-day activities of township employees are to be supervised through and by the departmental township supervisor as appointed during the reorganization meeting held in January. Appointments are made and affirmed as follows. For 2019, Tammy Imes, Office Supervisor, Ed Shingle, Road Supervisor, Doug Teagard, Police Supervisor, and Mike Smith, Water and Sewer Supervisor. Said appointments shall have exclusive authority in regards to day-to-day functions of the employees in addition to related workspace unless otherwise directed by the Board of Supervisors. Number 2, Donegal Township's office and administrative personnel, including the office secretary and assistant secretary, shall direct any questions, inquiries regarding official township business to the township supervisor in charge of the office. Departmental township supervisors shall then review and direct the question to the appropriate township officials. This procedure shall remain in place unless otherwise directed by the Board of Supervisors. Number 3, no individual township supervisor shall perform municipal functions and/or duties which have been assigned to township employees by the Board of Supervisors unless such action is expressly approved by the Board of Supervisors. Number 4, no individual township supervisor or employee is granted authority to enter into agreements or contracts without specific and lawful authority expressly granted by the Board of Supervisors. Number 5, no township supervisor or employee shall access any township-owned computer without the express approval of the Board of Supervisors. Number 6, no township supervisor or employee shall access confidential employee personnel files with the express authority granted by without the express authority granted by the Board of Supervisors. Number 7, no township supervisor or employee is to change locks or passwords or distribute keys or share passwords for township assets without express approval of the Board of Supervisors. This does not preclude the changing of locks or passwords for a temporary time in the event of an immediate need whereby township property is in imminent peril. Then the matter then shall be brought before the board at the next scheduled meeting. Number 8, employees receiving conflicting directives from individual supervisors are to notify the board chairman, who shall bring the matter before the Board of Supervisors. There's a place for the attestation and so forth on the bottom. I would move this resolution be adopted and in the correct numbering in the sequence, whatever it is. be numbered on top.
Anybody want to second it?
Can I read it just for a second more?
Yeah.
And then on that.
Anybody want to second it?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second, discussion, questions, whatever.
I'm just gonna go on record saying I'm assuming it's aimed at me.
Say it again?
So I'm just gonna go on record and I'm gonna assume it's aimed at me.
I might say it's me with the crosswords. So,
I'm gonna
How
go
is
on
that
record
as
and
far
say,
how is that as far as a legal document? Like, what are the ramifications of that if you pass it?
I'm gonna go on, I don't know.
I'm gonna say that since there's case law on the books that says every time you do not include all of the supervisors in legal documents or any sort of emails, it's quite disturbing that apparently the secretary knows all about the escrow account, which I've received no information about, that you are in fact disenfranchising voters.
How?
Because my lawyer won a federal case over it.
I want to ask a solicitor a
don't
couple
understand,
questions.
I didn't understand
Yeah.
about the escrow thing, that's all.
It seems as though secretaries have information about the escrow accounts, and when you read the bills, there are a lot of things like, okay, the secretary treasurer position was done by the attorney, but we didn't get any of that information. Liquid fuels audit surcharge, didn't get any of that information. Heavy hauling ordinance issues, didn't get any of that information. Heather said she had information from Dennis's office about the escrow. I haven't received anything about the escrow, not being able to do it anymore.
I don't know what that means. I mean, we send stuff to secretaries all over the place.
I think what she was
Doesn't
referring
matter.
to is the fact that it's on the application about an escrow account. And that was her question.
She said she had information from Dennis.
I don't know if it was from Dennis, I don't know that.
The problem is, like, those can't just be changed, the board has to change them. So it would be correct that the board receive all the information related to that.
I'm not arguing that. I said that's. what
Again,
I-
you disenfranchise the voters.
I don't think the voters have been disenfranchised. There have been things happening in this township where this township obviously must be running itself. I don't know how it works. I have never in my life heard of any circumstances where a supervisor is permitted to come into the township office and download files from our township computer.
You mean the files I wrote?
the township
The
computer?
ones I scanned and transferred to the other computer?
When you are a supervisor and you're not granted that authorization to do those things, you have the same rights as a private citizen. The private citizen have the rights to go in and download information from those computers.
I transferred the files I wrote from
Did
one
you?
computer to the other.
And who authorized that?
Well, it didn't bother you when I worked the whole year
Who
for no
authorized
pay.
it? I ask you a
Why do I
question.
need someone to authorize the information that was mine that I copied and sent to all of the supervisors?
And-
I acted in essence, I acted as a secretary.
And who would have appointed you secretary? Isn't it this board?
Well, you didn't get Sharon any help.
Is a private citizen allowed to go into the township office to review personnel files
No,
without authorization of the board?
no.
Who's reviewed personnel
I'm
files?
just not, did I say that anybody review? I'm asking a question. What about documents in general?
No, our right to know request is what it takes to get that info.
We have two former secretaries here. Do you ever have a supervisor come in and download materials from your township computer? Either one of you?
I never had a supervisor come in and open a file cabinet.
Tammy?
They wanted something, they asked me and I gave it to them. And original documents never left the office, never.
I'm just gonna go on record and say that I'm not voting for this because it sounds like more work for me. Just saying. Number four is useless because they can't enter, no one person can enter into an agreement.
I saw a contract back there with one supervisor's name on it. Never
It's
came
not
before the
valid.
board. Okay, I agree. Then what? We don't need different, anybody can sign them anytime.
Yeah, without board action, it's not valid.
Well, all he's doing is saying, as a matter of policy, this is the law that we're gonna follow, we're gonna resolve to follow it as a board. So, in your point, Ed, he's not, this doesn't say anything other than saying essentially we're gonna follow, we're not, as a policy now, we're also gonna say that you're not allowed to break the law and do it, and sign a contract while you're out. You know what I mean?
Anybody else? Yeah.
I have a question. When you guys email each other, shouldn't all of you be getting the same emails all the time? Because wasn't there an issue at the beginning of last year where Doug wasn't getting emails? And then also, I understand some of you might not agree with everything that Doug is saying, but, and I'm not trying to pick on you, Eddie, but you're saying it creates more work for you, but that's your job as a supervisor, is to make sure that all of you know everything that's going on and not one particular person have control over something else. So, I mean, like departments, yeah, but isn't that what we hired you to do as a supervisor? Not really create more work for you, but that is your job. That's what we elected you to do. That's just my opinion.
Duly noted. Anybody else?
There is a chain of command, correct?
Yeah.
And shouldn't that be followed all the time, not just when somebody wants to follow it?
You know, a little piece out of the Township Supervisor's Handbook. I think it's important. It's important to note the Township Code vests all authority and responsibility for the township and the board of supervisors, not the individual elected township supervisors. Election to the office of township supervisor authorizes the individual to participate as a voting member at meetings of the board of supervisors. The board of supervisors exercises its authority through affirmative action of a majority of the entire board in legally advertised meetings that are open to the public. It is the board of supervisors through majority action that it is the decision maker in all township matters. As such, any township supervisor must first receive authorization from the board of supervisors before proceeding to act on behalf of the township. I think it's pretty clear.
So your resolution's redundant then,
Yeah.
there's no need for it.
This is about the handbook, of the law, that's the handbook.
But I'm saying, that's why I asked earlier, what are the legal ramifications of that
Is
document
there
that you
anything, is there
created?
anything in this document that's been presented that impedes the right of a supervisor to act as a supervisor?
It doesn't appear, no, I don't see any.
No, I'm
Like that
asking,
entered upon the, in front of the minutes?
Let me see.
I'm asking what the legal ramifications is of the document you wrote. It doesn't, like, is
Policy,
it?
it's policy, that's all.
Okay.
It's not a law, it's a policy.
So what are the ramifications of not following it?
People don't follow if they don't want to follow it.
So what's the point of doing it?
Right.
Well, if you would
So
know
it's
all
basically a
the
public
the
reprimand is what
the
it is.
disruption that comes out of this township in a day's time.
Okay, but so basically it can,
Well,
you can vote
I
on
can
it, it can
address
be
that,
ignored.
I can address that a little bit. Places, everybody does it different, they really do. Some places, I will email a secretary, they distribute it. Some places I'll fax it, somebody will distribute it. Some places have one guy that doesn't have email, some have, you know, everybody's different. Some people, they all share the duties of what they do. Everybody's a roadmaster, everybody's a this, everybody's a that. Some places they're divided up. These guys have decided over the last few months that they're having some difficulty in these areas, it looks like, that they want to reaffirm as a matter of policy that they're gonna vote on.
I heard all that. I was
these
just-
things.
fine,
Does
fine.
does that help?
Yeah, I just don't see the necessity in it when it seems like those are just things that supervisors should be doing as the law anyway.
Well,
Agreed. Shouldn't have to have.
It hasn't been working that way, so it looks like,
So it's
I don't
pretty
know.
much just making it clear that these are the things that should be going on by each
well, and look,
supervisor?
like this first one right here, this isn't the way everybody does it. Right? Like, not everybody has one person in charge of police, not everybody has one person in charge of the office. Some places, everybody does everything. Some places, one guy does two things and one guy does nothing.
Doug, did you write this all yourself or did Chris write it?
I didn't write any of this.
Well, obviously, you knew about it prior, considering you're saying that for the last couple months, they've had a problem, and
This board's been in since January, oh, wait a minute, I guess a whole year. Time flies. They've had a year behind them. That was I misspoke on that. I didn't come here that often anymore, so it only feels like you guys have been here a couple months.
Not to us.
so who authorized you to look into this?
I just looked at it right now.
You know a lot about what's going on in the background that the township folks don't know,
Like what?
like how there's discord.
That's
Like,
what you
Oh, I'm
said.
sorry, I thought that was, watch the
It's
tapes.
obvious.
I don't watch the
It's
tapes.
obvious.
I didn't think I have any, and if I have inside information,
But
it's
you did
privileged.
technically point to these guys and say, these guys seem to be having a problem with the way things have been run the last few months.
Do you
That
not?
is true.
Did you write the stuff on
If you read
Facebook?
Facebook, it says it on there for the last 4 months or whatever. I mean, it's right on
There were
Facebook.
You
things.
said the last 3 months.
No,
If-
he
if
said
you
the
wrote that.
last 3 months.
Oh, I said the last 3 months is what, if you wrote.
For the last 3 months, we've been arguing in executive session, yes.
I said, you said God.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I'm,
I have a question. What does this do for, if, okay, you're in charge of the police department.
Okay. And what to do in regards to what?
If you need to make a decision,
Decisions such as what?
I don't know. I mean,
Give me an
that's what I'm
example.
asking.
Give me an example. Where we're gonna spend money? That's a board decision.
Well, no, we have thing that says you can spend $500.
You can- Yeah, if I chose
Between
to,
meetings.
doesn't mean I have to though.
Yeah, no, I
But yeah,
understand.
yeah.
And we said,
And if
I
it was a
think last
matter,
meeting, it wasn't,
yeah,
that hasn't been abused,
no.
but, to call someone out, put on extra help for, an emergency, or say, whatever.
I don't understand the question.
Do you have the authority with this to do that?
I have the authority to do what I've been assigned to do.
Which
That's
is to supervise.
to supervise the police.
Okay, so that's-
You know, the same as you have the authority to supervise the road and so forth. The same exact type of authority.
Yeah, I don't see what we're gaining here, is what I'm
It's,
getting at.
it's internal operating procedure, essentially.
It'd be like me calling a road guy, telling him go do this or that. I'm not gonna do it. They call me, I say, you need to call Ed.
Yeah.
I don't, that's how it works. If the office questions, I say, you call Tammy. I don't try to make decisions for everybody.
And to be honest, try to check with everyone
Mhm,
before I do anything anyway.
mhm.
At least get a couple opinions.
Gotcha.
Does not your code book specify what role you guys all have?
Yeah, I just read it.
Right,
Yeah.
but like, does it give you duties of like, you're in charge of the police, does it give you duties?
So,
And what if the road department or police need something and they can't get a hold of you?
You go to someone else.
Pretty much go to the chair after that.
Yeah, I don't.
it's always known to go to the chair afterwards. Like it's a, unless you said it.
Can I decline being the chair right now?
No. Don't you like being the chair?
Huh?
I said, oh,
Right?
you got voted in as the chair. You're the chair.
Okay. Anybody else? Got a motion and a second, right?
Yes.
One more thing, I would like to say, whether you agree or not with this or anything, I think it's a slap in the Kathy's face. She's helped for an entire year.
Absolutely.
Sharon, did you need her help?
Yes, I did.
Mike,
Okay,
did you
we've
need my
hired-
help?
We've hired someone, she's been a great help to me with the roads.
I'm not
And
saying-
Tammy too. I mean, I thought it was a team effort, but apparently not. But,
Have you had any complaints as chairman of the board regarding activities in any of the departments?
yes, every department, I can say.
You've proved my point, Ed.
What's part of the job, I think, but.
No, it's not part of the job. And
But I do think, like I said, she worked an entire year, her
nobody,
time, no money,
nobody disputes that.
Nobody's disputing it,
and
not at all.
I think it's a slap in the face.
I think putting personal information on social media that doesn't belong there, that's privileged information, is wrong.
What's privileged?
My email.
If
It says
anybody out,
right in the bottom of the email, it's privileged information.
if anybody out there
They had to
sends
put it
in a
right to the,
know,
that's
No.
fine.
But nobody did.
Nobody did. Did anybody here send a right to know from my email?
No, but I'm going to now.
yeah.
I think I read on the social media snippets from an executive session. Certainly a violation of the code of ethics in regards to executive sessions,
Which part?
any of it.
But you won't say
Did
what
you mention
part.
parts, did you mention parts of executive session?
The parts that were illegal? Yes.
That's your determination.
No, I'm pretty sure the Department of Labor gets very upset when you say that, but yes. That was an illegal act. Those were illegal statements. And I will testify in
What-
court of law.
What's the ramifications of disclosing uh,
Unfortunately, you can't really do much about it.
Nothing.
Unfortunately, that's not much, not that I'm aware of anyway. I've talked to, what's
And
her name?
she ain't the first one, if she did it, she ain't the first one, or probably the last one to do it.
Hey, guys.
I mean, it's
I
not-
sat
it
on
wouldn't
the
be
board, I
recommended.
sat on a
It's
board where
probably-
they knew what
It's
happened
not
in
good
executive.
practice, it's not good policy, not good, look, this is just tightening up the procedures, it looks like. to
I
me.
sat on
Somebody
a
has to
board where
provide-
they knew what happened in executive session before we were back in session. All right, anybody else?
I got a question.
Yeah.
He charged the road department, and hired the roadmaster. Why don't he give the report?
Working, I think.
He's working.
I don't know, I've been here the last 2 or 3 meetings, I haven't seen it, nothing.
This is the last one.
But as a roadmaster, shouldn't he be given the report?
He wrote the report I read. Is there something you want to know that you wasn't in the report?
Kind of off base here.
yeah. You have a motion?
Let's deal with that in public comments.
Motion and a second. Anybody else? How do you vote?
Mike,
Yes.
Tammy,
I vote yes.
Kathy,
No.
Doug,
Yes.
Ed,
Nope. All right, you done?
Yeah.
Public comment. Oh, addition to the agenda. Public comment.
Oh, I did have an addition.
Okay.
Sorry, I was, everything else going. My understanding, that the incident on Route 40 back in December, John said I don't know if he wrote a letter or called or whatever, but I talked to